This is the one thing that has the power to kill TBC. You know, all the trouble with Black Lotus and the consumable prices and like the insanity of Vanilla Anniversary? This is the counterpart for TBC. This little plant you see here, which is a pine cone actually, this little Terocone plant controls everything that ever happens in WoW. Now, let me show you right here. The supply is extremely limited. You can find it in Terocone Forest and you can find it in Shadow Moon Valley, very limited on the border and whatnot. This thing is gonna get botted to hell. And that's important because TBC did a super based change. You know, we often talk about like the problems of vanilla, and I know some people get mad at this, but TBC limited the amount of consumables you can get. You can take a battle elixir and a guardian elixir or a flask plus your food buff and potions, and that's pretty much all the consumables in the game. The thing is, Terocone is the ingredient that makes every goddamn consumable in the game. As you can see right here, every single elixir is using Terocone, and Terocone is a point of contention because it cannot be farmed in the open world. It cannot be farmed in dungeons. It can only be farmed at a decent rate in the open world, and it is almost exclusively in a single small zone. This is Black Lotus 2.0. I didn't play TBC Classic back in the day, I only played in private servers, and this wasn't an issue in private servers. Terocone was only like 3 gold back then, but this will be different because we're gonna have all the bots in the world and we're gonna have all the RMT in the world. And if I were a botter, I could very easily take control of all the Terocone supply in the game. So I am really worried about what's gonna happen with Terocone. And most classes do not use a flask, even though you can take a flask or the most optimal stats for most classes is a combination of 2 elixirs, right? So like some classes don't even get a good flask. Some classes can only take elixirs. The haste potion is the big one. Yeah, you take all the potions here as well. Like everything is made with freaking Terocone. That's pretty much it. So like healers do not have a flask. They have to take the healing elixir. So like if you're a healer, you don't even have a choice of taking a flask. You have to go for Terocone. You have to go through Terocone. So even though the economy in TBC and raiding in TBC should be a hell of a lot cheaper, I am very worried about this, and I really hope Blizzard puts a change in Terocone like they did for Black Lotus. I don't want like the supply of Terocone to be bigger. Okay, that's not a problem of I want infinite Terocone in the market. I just want a way to take Terocone that cannot easily be hijacked by bots. This is bot heaven. You can take a bot right here, a bot right here, a bot right here, and a bot right here, and 4 or 5 bots can take up the entire Terocone supply in a layer. There's gonna be entire bot networks dedicated to taking up all the Terocones in the server. I was blocking the map, sorry about that. But yeah, it's just this tiny little area here. It will be extremely easy to do. Even easier than Black Lotus. Because Black Lotus at least was like scattered across all of Vanilla, right? This is in a single zone and like a little bit on this, on Shadow Moon Valley. That's it, like 3 bots. 1 bot here, 1 bot here, 1 bot here, and you're done, right? So yeah, that's my main contention. There is a lot of good stuff about TBC though. If you can give me a minute, let me look this up. I forgot the name of the spirit shards. Did you know that in TBC, if you don't want to buy potions, you don't have to buy potions anymore? Because mana potions will be expensive. You still gotta be popping 2 a minute. There is not a limit like you have in Rato the Lich King. But with the PvP dailies in Oakingdon, in Terocone Forest, you get a bunch of these crappy shards. You gotta control the towers on Terocone Forest. Right here, you gotta control all the towers around Oakingdon. And then every boss you kill in the dungeons of Oakingdon is gonna give you like 2 of these shards, right? Right here are the potions. So if you play the game and you do dungeons and you chill in dungeons, you can get all the mana potions you want for free. But Terocone is the only one that concerns me, that gets me really worried about the economy, but I am trying to give you hope. Raiding in TBC will not be hell anymore. You can very easily raid log in TBC and make very little money and be fine with all your consumable needs. Pretty much. And TBC will devolve into a raid logging expansion. Yep, that's like one of those things where you gotta consider 2 of the aspects of it. Like, is it good that you can only raid in TBC and you don't have to do anything else once you get your previous? Or should you be required to like keep doing maintenance every week, your chores, your gold? I mean, like, I don't think there's an argument in Classic because of the swiping, right? Like, it beats the purpose of everything, but like, in a world without RMT, is forcing you to farm gold to raid actually good for the game or bad? the content has to be split or the bots are gonna fill the gap every time. Yeah, that's where I'm at, right? Like, I don't know if not having an economy, if not requiring an economy, if not having to spend a lot of money in consumables is a good thing for the game. But right now, we have no choice, because one choice is Orwellian RMT hell, and the other choice is TBC and like limited consumables. Personally, I think having to click 20 things in your character to do the full damage like you have to do in vanilla, like clicking like 20 little obscure items that all stack with each other, I think that's super cringe. But people like that. You know, a lot of people like that. You know, like people have entire Wicoras. You need a Wicora that tells you every single item you need, because if you're missing just one of them, you're behind. And that sucks. Like the fire waters, all that shit. The fire waters are an elixir now, so they cannot be stacked anymore. You cannot use fire waters in TBC, for example. A lot of stuff like that. Funnily enough, consumables were not limited in original TBC. Like, it was like a patch later on. So in TBC 2.0 whatever, it was still just like in vanilla, and it was like way too cancer, because you had to take all the consumables from TBC plus a flask plus all the consumables from vanilla. They all stacked. Believe that for a second. Imagine that for a second. Jesus. Yeah, and the wall buffs also worked in TBC. I don't know for how long, but they also worked back then, so you could get DMT and stuff into TBC. Overall, I think it's a great change. I think it's super based, but I know people are gonna say it's not. I think putting a consumable limit was something super important for the health of the game, and I am glad about it. The only way Blizzard can mess TBC up is by not putting Terocone somewhere else. And I wouldn't put it past them that Blizzard would allow Terocone to ruin the game. But this little piece of crap Pinecone is the only thing. This is the difference between civilized society and chaos and war. President Blizzard, I implore you, tear down this wall and put Terocone as a 0.001% drop somewhere or something. Don't allow Terocone to be hoarded by bots and ruin the game. Welcome to my TED Talk. I wanted to rant about this all day, and I see it coming. I see it coming. I see the bots ruining TBC just because of Terocone. I can feel it, and I will get really, really mad. So stop it. Make Terocone great again. Yeah, they gotta do the Black Lotus change, just putting it in some other plant as a really low chance. That's all you need. We don't need more Terocones. We need Terocones to not be able to be hoarded by bots. That's it. We need a Terocone supply that cannot be cartelled, that cannot be hijacked. That's all we need. We don't need a million Terocones. We just need some Terocones so the bots do not have the power to set the prices. That's the difference. They actually tried doubling the spawn of Black Lotus. Do you remember that, guys? That when they said, we are gonna make Black Lotus spawn twice as fast, and it didn't do anything to the price because the bots were getting all of the Black Lotuses, so they were just hoarding the Black Lotus anyway. Yeah, it's not as simple as buffing the spawn rate of Terocone. It has to come from somewhere else. Preferably a dungeon, but wherever that cannot be taken by bots. That's my point. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. We are doing a fresh Arquinera. I'm getting boosted right now. Shout out Alfarius, base Paladin, doing all the work. I'm supposed to go to RFK right now. Crap. We are gonna be doing casual GDKPs, White Main US Alliance. You wanna get in the guild? Whisper Kick Geronimo. We're gonna be raiding probably next week. I wanna chill and do some easy stuff, you know, some simple casual stuff until we get to TBC. We're gonna be passing the time in here. But before I go, subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.